we want to take you on a journey, and I tell you this is going to be so valuable. How do you set a goal that takes you from 2025 to 2035 so that by the time you hit 2035, you have created wealth? Because you see, it's all about creating wealth. If you don't create wealth, life still remains the same. Now, a lot of the things we've taught at the Wealth Masterclass will have to come into play for 2025-2035 roadmap to work. The reason I said so is that we've given you the template for creation of wealth. How do I create wealth? One, look for a problem and solve it, particularly a problem other people are not yet open to. And if you solve the problem in a unique, particular way, you disrupt the market, everybody will come to you. Until Steve Jobs created a phone that allowed us to hear all our music on our phone, nobody thought it was possible. But once he did that, and music and many things were crashed into the smartphone, it just changed the world and immediately took his company to the next level. In fact, before the iPhone, there was the iPod. Inside the iPod, you could have 1,000 songs. One, it created wealth for the musicians, but then it made life easy for you. You could buy the songs cheaper. You didn't have to buy vinyls or CDs. Everything was in your iPod. Now it's gone into your phone, and it can come from cloud into your phone. That disruption, that solving of problem and scaling it meant that wealth just came. And if the money came, if you now took the same money and you reinvested, compounding it, Albert Einstein said the law of compounding is the eighth wonder of the world. That was why I haven't contributed money, 500 a month for 5 years, which means 5 times 12, 6,000 pounds. Is it for 5 years? I think for 3 or 4 years, which came to something like 30,000 pounds. And I stopped for almost 20 years. It compounded and became 180,000 pounds because of the law of compounding and rolling over. So if we look at what we want to do today, you've got to have behind your mind the fact that there are certain financial steps and decisions you already know to take in order for you to set a financial goal. All right, let's start. What is a financial plan? What's the meaning and what's the definition? A financial plan is a document that involves an evaluation. One, your current monetary situation. Two, your financial future objectives and how you intend to meet it. It can be developed individually or with the help of a professional financial advisor. However, in a general term, a financial plan may be focused on various areas such as retirement planning, business budget, investment financial planning, consolidation of your debts, tax, and much more. All these are still part of a plan. It is an attempt to bring your spending and your savings into clarity so that you have a plan and you have a strategy. So let's see types of financial planning. Depending on the time frame, financial plans can be divided into 9 types of plans. Firstly, you have short-term planning. Really, there are 3 majors, but we'll just lump everything as 9 here. 3 majors. Major number 1 is short-term. Your current financial situation, having a plan for either saving or paying off of debt. What you do now that is going to have consequence. Many people just think in 10 years time they just suddenly become millionaires. You don't become a millionaire in 10 years time if you are not on a journey to it. Imagine me sitting in Essex and I want to go to Birmingham. I have to create a road map. But not only create a roadmap, I have to choose the method of transportation. If my method is walking, it will take 10 days. If it is a tractor, it will take 2 days. If it's a Lamborghini Turbo, it will take 1 hour or probably less. So many people are traveling to wealth. They're using the wrong vehicle, and we've taught you all the various vehicles that you could use to create wealth. Short-term financial planning implies dealing with current problems, showing results usually within 1 year. In other words, if you take your debts and you pay them, those kind of things, they are part of your financial plan. Examples of the client's personal goals here may include reducing or repaying debt. In other words, if you have clients who are working with you, or if you are the accountant or you are the one who is planning for somebody, debt cancellation is financial planning. Creating emergency fund is financial planning. And when it comes to company goals, because we're going to be combining both your personal finance and your company finance. When it comes to company goals, financial planning can involve reaching the targeted revenue. If you don't reach your targeted revenue, it therefore means that that year you have not achieved your financial plan, and so there is a problem on your road to 2035. You probably have had a punctured tire that needs to be changed in order to continue the journey. It also includes finding a source of funding. It's part of financial planning. For example, you wanted to reach 2035 with certain milestones, but you know that your current income cannot take you there, and you sourced for a loan. It's part of the planning. Is there a plan to source for loan? Is there a plan to source for other investors? This is major. The second kind of financial planning is mid-term. Mid-term financial planning is in the middle of your planning. You need to know how to transition between short-term and your final goal. So that's where the mid-term comes. It comes between the two. It's usually focused on a span of up to 5 years. So if somebody watching me today, your current saving is £50,000, but in 10 years' time you want to have £500,000 liquid, you therefore need to have a 5-year break. And that 5-year break may not be more than £200,000 if you remember compounding. The last 5 years may now help us to compound the same 200,000 to now double and have extra that made it 500. This plan implies that the immediate problem, like credit card, have been resolved. Thus, it's possible to concentrate on more time-consuming objectives like saving for real estate, starting a business. In other words, in the short term, you know you have problems, you have debts you owe, you have monies you need to pay, you have debts on a credit card and so on. You are dealing with it in your short term. In the mid-term, you are not only paying debt, you are also creating the atmosphere for investing in real estate. Because you see, money is about equity or liability. And let's face it, many of us gather a lot of liability. This thing on my hand is a liability. It's not producing money. This watch is a liability. It's not producing money. The car outside is a liability. It's not producing money. The light in this house is a liability. It's not an asset, even though it could be part of the process of producing money. So anything that consumes from you is a liability. Anything that increases in value is equity. So if you have a financial planning system and you need to deal with liability, you need to pay debts. Liability includes credit card debt, all the debts you owe, all the outgoings. Your monthly bills are liability. They are inevitables, but they don't increase your wealth. They don't increase your wealth. They consume, they don't increase your wealth. They may have indirect bearing if you are using electricity to produce things. So if you have a company, your company may consider creating a new product line, entering a new market. That's still part of your medium term goal. So that you are saying, all right, even though in 10 years' time we want to be this worthy, we need to introduce another product that helps us arrive in that place. First, looking at all three, and then we'll expand them more. The third one is the long term financial plan. A long term financial plan really is not like saying you started it in 6 years' time. It is also actually from day one, from 2025. The long term plan had started. The short enters the medium enters the long. The long is just a summary of many shorts and many mediums. The long is a summary of many short-term goals and many medium goals. If we say 24 hours, the 24th hour is not unique. It's also like the previous hours. It's just that the end of the day started with the beginning of the day. So a long-term financial plan is usually designed for more than 5 years and requires huge financial resources. Some common long-term goals may include saving for retirement is part of your long-term. So if you are listening to me today and you are 50, maybe you want to retire at 60. If you were part of the Millionaire Summit last week, you notice that one of the speakers said, oh, he wants to retire at 40. And the way his company is, he set the system. Retirement at 40 does not mean that he has the cash, but it means that he's the majority shareholder. And every time that company produces and they declare dividends, he gets enough to enjoy his life from when he's 40 years old. He might even go and start another company elsewhere. So it includes retirement, children's education, paying off a mortgage. And when it comes to a business, long-term financial goal will include how do you change your company from analog to automation, to cash flow optimization, to reduction of expenses. These are some of the planning.